guys, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And if this is your first time here, I want to thank you for checking out my channel. If you're a regular, welcome back. This is a movie channel, so everything I talk about here is movie related. I do reviews, top 10 lists, collection updates, and videos like this one that I post every week where I give you a few choices for Blu-rays and rentals to watch at home, as well as a few picks for people who want to head out and see a movie in the theater. So if this is the kind of content you're interested in, this is the point where I tell you to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll know when I upload my videos. And I don't have any big channel news going on this week. Everything's pretty quiet, so I'm just going to get right into my picks of the week. I have two from my collection, and then there's one new release. And this first one is from 2002. It's based on a true story, and it is called City of God. It takes place in the 1960s in the slums of Rio de Janeiro, and we have our main character, a young man who goes by the name of Rocket. And where this film picks up is a clip that takes place towards the end of the movie. So it's one of those films that starts out, the beginning starts out near the end. The nice thing about the way they do this movie is, though, like some movies will spoil the ending, this one does not. They leave us at a cliffhanger moment, and the rest of the movie we backtrack to see how we got to that moment and ultimately the ending. So we backtrack and we see Rocket as a young boy. We meet his friends, we meet his brother, we kind of see who's who and who he's connected with and the different people that he knows from this neighborhood that he lives in. He is the son of a fisherman, and he works for his dad. He delivers fish, and he and his brother really do try to do their best to stay out of trouble. Rocket in particular. His main goal in life is that he wants to be a photographer. But all around him, he sees his friends kind of splitting off and going into this darker life of crime. And ultimately, as they get older, what we have two main gangs who are at war with each other in this slum, in this neighborhood slum. And they're fighting over drugs, there's murders that take place, there is all kinds of violence that goes on. And at one point, there's even one young man that he knows who started out as a young boy, and he got involved in this gang lifestyle as a very young boy. And by the time he's 18, they said he was the most powerful person in the whole gang warfare. He was the most powerful guy at 18 years old, and he was ruthless. So this guy, Rocket, our main guy, Rocket, he's just surrounded by crime, and all he wants to do is stay out of it. And like I said, he has friends who are on both sides of this terrible war that's going on, and you can't even walk down the street without seeing kids. They're robbing the stores, they're murdering each other, they're murdering shopkeepers, they're robbing, they're looting, they're selling drugs, they're holding up different places and killing everybody in these. They go into these places of prostitution, they kill everyone in there. I mean, this is a violent, graphic movie. So this is definitely a tough watch. It's definitely a graphic watch, and it is, like I said, very violent. But it's a very well done movie, and it's a very important story. And through the movie, Rocket, our main guy, he's the narrator, and he is telling the story through his eyes, and ultimately through his lens. So without going into any spoilers as far as the plot line and who's who and what happens, what I'm going to tell you is, as far as the cinematography, this was the whole film has a very dark tone to it, but the tone, it matches the tone of the movie and of the content. And at times, it even felt to me like it was a little bit of maybe amateur footage, but I don't know if that was intentional or it was just the way the film was shot. But as far as cinematography, it didn't blow me away, but I felt like it was fitting. And like I said, the movie is a subtitled movie, but it's not real dialogue heavy, so that part wasn't hard to follow. What is at times hard to follow is that the events happen so quick and so unexpected, and you go from person to person to person to person, because there's these shootings and people yelling back and forth, that at times I had a little bit of trouble figuring out who was who and who was with who and who was against who. So from that perspective, once the film ended, I can definitely see there's rewatchability in it, because once you've kind of figured out who's who and where everybody belongs, you're definitely going to want to go back and rewatch it and take your time with it and just really see how everything unfolds. But yeah, this was a really well done movie. It's an amazing story that I think everybody needs to know and needs to see. And if you haven't seen City of God, definitely check it out. I'm going to link it in the description box below. because I think this is one that's worth a buy, because I think there's, like I said, there's definitely rewatchability in it. But yeah, it's a good one. City of God, check it out. And my next one is from, I'm sorry, I'm gonna mangle this poor director's name. It's Taika Waititi, and the movie is called Boy. And this takes place in 1984. Yeah, 1984, and we meet an 11-year-old who goes by the name of Boy. And his thing is, he is a huge Michael Jackson fan. And he lives with his grandmother, he lives with his brother, his little brother, who thinks he has superpowers, and he lives with a group of his cousins. And at the beginning of the movie, his grandmother needs to go away, so Boy is left in charge of his cousins and his brother in the house and running everything while his, I think they call her Nana, is away. And what we find out is that Boy's father is incarcerated. And all he wants to do is get to know his father. He wants to meet his father. He has all these dreams about if his father actually came back into his life, how life would be, how differently things would be, that he and his brother would take off with his father and live this great life, and, you know, so on and so forth. Typical things of an 11-year-old boy who's missing his dad. Well, lo and behold, while the grandmother is away, his father shows up. Apparently, he's been let out of jail, and he shows up with two of his friends. And what we come to find out is he has buried money somewhere on the grandmother's property, and he's come to collect that money. And what he does to get his sons to help him is he tells them that if they find this money, it's going to enable them to go off and have this great life that Boy wants to have with his father. And he just idolizes his father. And he, like I said, he has all these visions of how their life is going to be. So without going into too much, and I don't want to ruin the plot for you, once his father comes back, what we find out is his father going to be this man that he wants him to be, or is it going to go in a different direction? And we follow Boy as he gets to know his father, and as he gets to see who his father is and where he comes from. But this is a really good movie. It is so funny in points. It's great. And if you've seen any of the director's other movies, you know he has a great sense of humor, and he has a great way of working humor even into the most darkest of areas in a film. He can make it funny. This is a beautifully shot movie. I mean, talk about cinematography. I mean, we just talked about a film that was a little on the dark side. This is gorgeous. And I think it was shot in New Zealand. I know it's supposed to take place in New Zealand, but I think it was actually shot there. It is stunning. It is a beautifully shot movie. So if you haven't seen Boy, I highly suggest it. It's a really entertaining, good watch. It's a light movie. It's very light and easy to watch. The thing with this one is, I'm not sure that you're going to necessarily be missing anything if you decide to Redbox it or just stream it. Because as far as this one, once you kind of know the story, you know the story. So I don't know, other than entertainment value, if the rewatchability is that high. Not that it's a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination, because I thought it was great. But I am a physical media person. If you're not, don't feel bad about not buying it. You're definitely not going to be missing anything as far as rewatchability. The only thing I can say is if you have his other movies that are What We Do in the Shadows, which is fantastic and a lot of fun if you haven't seen this one. The Hunt for the Wilder People, which is another awesome movie. And he actually did Thor Ragnarok. So you guys know how much humor was in Thor Ragnarok. So if you actually have all his other movies and you want to make your collection complete, then you're going to want to add it. But yeah, either way, I'll link in the description if you want to pick it up. If not, stream it, Redbox it, whatever. But either way, definitely give Boy a look, because it's a really good time and I think you're going to enjoy it. And my last pick for home should come as no surprise. It is Avengers Infinity War. And I am probably maybe one of 5 people who hadn't seen the movie until this week. But I actually watched it at home and I was not disappointed. This was as great as everyone said it was. I really loved, I love to watch movies at home. I'm a big at-home person. So if you haven't seen it, don't feel bad because you're not alone. I'm a first-time watch too, but I really enjoyed this. And the Avengers, I mean, come on, it's the Avengers. How can it be bad? It was fun. It was funny. It was well done. You know, we all know the ending by now, and, you know, we'll see where they go with it. But, you know, I think they can go in a million different directions. But yeah, definitely check out the Avengers Infinity War. And like I said, this is the Best Buy exclusive. I got the 4K and Blu-ray version. So I'll show you what it looks like. And I believe the cover is the same for the Blu-ray alone or the 4K. But this is what you have. This is your cover. And then inside we have nice artwork. We see the Avengers in there. So it's a nice addition. And then on the discs, this is the Blu-ray. We actually have artwork on the Blu-ray. And then we have artwork, nice artwork on the 4K version. And it also comes with the digital code. So, yeah, either way, if you pick up the 4K or the Blu-ray, you know, you'll be fine. So those are my picks for home, and like I said, you know, hopefully you guys find something in the pile that you like, because they're all decent choices, I think. I had fun with all of them. As far as the movie theater, we still have Mission Impossible is still out there. It's still doing really well. We still have Hotel Transylvania 3, which is out there. Slender Man, I don't know if it's doing very well. And then we have the Meg, which honestly I have seen. It seems like it's split right down the middle. People either really, really are into it, or they really didn't like it at all. I am a big fan of shark movies, so I don't know that it's necessarily something that I can say I'll never see. I might just take a chance and go see it. But what I saw this weekend was Black K Klansman. And it's not Klansum, like I said last week. They left off the AN on Fandango, so I screwed that up. But it's Black K Klansman, and let me tell you, what an amazing movie that one is. So if you get the chance, definitely go out and check that one out. It is an amazing story. It's really well done. There are some parts that are funny. There are some parts that are really tragic and sad, because it's the reality of this guy trying to take down the KKK, and you see the hatred that's involved, and it's just, that's so sad. That's a sad reality that takes place in this country from time to time. And I think that they Spike Lee did such a great job with this movie, and I can tell you that the last few minutes of this movie is a total gut punch. And had the whole movie been like the last few minutes, I think we would have all left the theater in tears. But what I can tell you about the last few minutes, the theater was completely silent, and I cannot remember the last time I was in a movie and the theater was totally, totally silent. And like I said, it's a gut punch, and I left there with just such a changed head. So that's all I'm going to say about it. But if you get the chance, definitely go check it out. And what we have opening this week is a movie that is called Blaze, and it's the story of Blaze Foley, who, it's a true story of, he was a country singer, and it looks to be really good. I watched the trailer. It looks like a really, really great movie, so especially if you're into country music, you might want to check out Blaze. Also, 22 Mile, which is another work with Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg. They're joined up again for this 22 Mile, and it's about a CIA operative, so that looks like it could be a pretty decent action movie. And then I am going to see a movie called Crazy Rich Asians, which is a comedy. And I guess a girl goes back to the home country with her boyfriend or fiance, and she meets his family, and I guess there's some problems with the mom. But it looks to be a really good time, and it has really high marks on Rotten Tomatoes, so hopefully it's going to be a really good one. I'll be able to give you more thoughts on that next week. So those are my picks for this week, and hopefully between the home pile or the theater pile, you guys find something in here that, you know, piques your interest. I hope that you guys have a great week and a great weekend, and I'm going to be back again real soon with maybe a top 10 list. I think we're going to do a top 10 list. I haven't done one of those in a long time. But I want to thank you guys as always for watching. You know I appreciate everything. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share, like, do whatever you want. Leave comments, say hello, do whatever you want, because I appreciate everything. And until next time, that's going to do it for me for today. So until next time, that's a wrap.